They were rich, famous, and unstoppable, but now they're broke, broken, or behind bars. One shaved her head in a parking lot, one ended up in court more times than they did on screen, one was caught screaming at imaginary people in a diner, and another thinks he's still famous but that everyone else forgot. This isn't a comeback story, it's a warning. These are the celebrities who had it all and lost everything. Amanda Bynes was the former it girl of Hollywood. Now we all know she had the Amanda Show on Nickelodeon. She starred in box office comedies like She's the Man and Hairspray, and she was even dubbed as the next Lucille Ball. Now I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who that was, so I had to Google it, and even when I did Google it, I still didn't know who it was. By the time Amanda was 24, she'd already racked up a net worth of over $6 million, and she was considered as one of the few child stars that had made it out clean. Yeah. In 2010, Amanda would tweet, "Being an actress isn't as fun as it may seem." Then she retired. Then she unretired. And then she re-retired again. And what followed was a downward spiral that was like filming a car crash on your iPhone in slow motion. 2 DUI arrests in 2012 and 2014, a hit and run investigation. She set a stranger's driveway on fire and accidentally soaked her dog in gasoline, and then infamously tweeted Drake, "I want at Drake to murder my vagina." By 2013, TMZ and the paparazzi had decided to follow every step of Amanda's breakdown. But beneath the headlines was something far darker. Amanda was reportedly diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. She was often left alone, spiraling with no consistent support system, and her parents would go on to file for conservatorship that same year. Like Britney Spears, Amanda lost control of her money, her choices, and her freedom. She would go on to spend the next decade in and out of psychiatric care. And in 2023, Amanda Bynes was found wandering in downtown LA completely naked, reportedly telling strangers that she was coming down from a psychotic episode. Her conservatorship was eventually lifted in 2022, but there was no comeback. She didn't do a tell-all, she didn't do a podcast, there was no redemption tour, just silence. Amanda Bynes, who was once the face of Nickelodeon, now lives completely out of the spotlight, not by choice, but by survival. Bam Margera went from skating legend to MTV royalty. By the mid-2000s, he was making millions from Jackass, Viva La Bam, and endorsement deals. He had it all. The mansion, the Lamborghini, the fan base. But behind the stunts was a man completely falling apart. By 2010, Bam Margera had already checked into rehab 3 times, and things only got darker after the death of his best friend and co-star Ryan Dunn in 2011. "I went on a bender for a month," Bam later admitted. "It was the only way to block out the pain." And from there, it was a total freefall. Multiple arrests for public intoxication and assault, 12+ rehab stints, and being kicked off of Jackass forever for refusing to stay sober, despite being one of the franchise's original creators. In 2021, Bam posted a tear-filled video claiming that the Jackass team had abandoned him. "I'm not in the movie because I'm in a lawsuit with them. They used my ideas and didn't pay me." By 2023, Bam was just a ghost of his former self. He had been hospitalized with pneumonia and COVID, reportedly on life support, and just months later was arrested again, this time for public intoxication whilst yelling at his ex-wife in front of their son. Then came the mugshots, the incoherent Instagram rants, and a haunting quote from his friend Steve-O saying, "I wish you could know how much I've hated feeling braced for the news of your death." Even recently, Bam revealed that he nearly lost both his legs as they dry rotted away from his battle with alcohol addiction. I mean, let that sink in. The guy literally nearly lost his legs because of how much he was struggling. Bam Margera went from global fame to becoming a reminder that no matter how much success or money you have, it's not going to protect you from self-destruction. Now, if Bam Margera was the reminder that money can't stop you self-destructing, then Orlando Brown is the poster child of why kids shouldn't do Orlando was That's So Raven's comedic genius. He was the childhood star with the charisma, the timing, and a career that should have exploded. But instead of becoming the next breakout star, oh boy did he self-destruct. The first sign of trouble? In 2014, he was arrested for threatening to kill a woman and her daughter. And that same year, he spiraled into drugs, legal trouble, and disturbing public outbursts. From there, it got a little bit unhinged. In 2016, he was arrested 3 separate times in 1 year. He showed up in Dr. Phil claiming he was Michael Jackson's son, that he had multiple kids that he'd never met, and he was wearing snake eye contacts during the interview. And he later said he doesn't do meth, but he knows people that does. In 2018, he was arrested again, this time for breaking into a friend's restaurant barefoot and allegedly high. The internet started referring to him as the new Amanda Bynes, and I'm sure we can all see why. And Disney, they completely scrubbed his name off everything. You won't find him in Raven's home, no cameos, no mentions. He effectively has been completely blacklisted from the very machine that made him. And in 2022, it carried on. Orlando was arrested for domestic violence, this time allegedly threatening his brother with a knife and a hammer. Every year seems to bring a new mugshot, a new court date, or a new moment of disturbing public behavior. Orlando's not just a fall from grace, he was a descent into madness, and the internet couldn't stop watching. Now, speaking of descents into madness, we come on to Tila Tequila. Now, she was once one of the most followed people on the entire internet. In the mid-2000s, she was the face of MySpace. Now, for most of you might not know what that is. That was the platform for social media before TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook was even a thing. Now, MTV handed her a reality show, A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. She launched a music career, she posed for Playboy, and she became a tabloid icon practically overnight. But what followed was one of the most bizarre and disturbing downfalls in internet history. After disappearing from the spotlight, Tila began posting unhinged conspiracy theories, claiming that she had died and been resurrected, referring to herself as God, and declaring that the world was run by reptilian overlords. But it didn't stop at the spiritual delusions. By 2013, Tila began openly supporting none other than Adolf Hitler. She referred to herself as Hitler and started posting photos wearing a swastika in front of Auschwitz. She described Hitler as a brilliant artist who was simply misunderstood, and even claimed she wanted to restore his honor. Platforms started banning her immediately. She was removed from Celebrity Big Brother UK after a single day, and in 2016, Twitter permanently banned her for hate speech. But the damage was already done. She'd completely destroyed her entire reputation. Now, don't get me wrong, she attempted multiple rebrands. Alt-right influencer, flat earther, self-proclaimed prophet, but each one simply buried her deeper into irrelevance and online ridicule. She went from one of the most followed women on social media to a full-blown internet pariah. As one Reddit put it perfectly, Tila Tequila went from reality TV icon to what's the actual in record time. Tila didn't just fall off, she lit the match and watched her career burn. There's a reason Hollywood chews people up and spits them out. Not everybody walks away a star. Some barely walk away at all. For every Dwayne Johnson or Zendaya, there's an Amanda Bynes screaming at invisible people on the sidewalk. There's a Bam Margera being chased by his past, or even an Ezra Miller ducking headlines that would ruin anyone else's career. Some of them were born broken, some were made that way by the spotlight, but in the end, they all proved the same thing. Fame doesn't save you. If anything, it kills you faster.